Give us your name for the record, please, sir. Ralph Johnson. By whom are you employed? General Electric. How long have you been so employed? 26 years. In what capacity are you employed at the present time? Director of Manufacturing. And you are stationed here in Baltimore? Yes. What is the highest level of formal education you have had, sir? I have a degree in chemical engineering. You are the plaintiff in this action along with your wife, Helen, is that correct? Yes, sir. Do you have any children? We have 2 children. This suit involves an accident which occurred in September of last year. Do you recall the precise date? I believe it was the 2nd of September. Where did this incident occur? In Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I understand you and your family were coming home from vacation. Is that true? Yes, sir. We had been on vacation for 2 weeks and were driving home at the time. Where had you been vacationing? At a resort lodge in Georgia. What was the name of the motel where you were staying when this accident happened? We had stopped at a Holiday Inn on Route 301 outside of Rocky Mount. You were traveling homeward and had stopped for the night, as I understand it? That's correct. We stopped about 4:30 in the afternoon. How much later did the incident in question occur? Probably a half hour later, more or less. You allege in your complaint, Mr. Johnson, that you were swimming in the motel pool when you were injured. How long had you been swimming in the pool before the time of the accident? My 2 sons had jumped out of the car as soon as we pulled into the Holiday Inn, and they were in the pool almost immediately. I helped my wife carry out luggage into the room. Then I put on a bathing suit and joined the boys in the pool. How old are your sons? They are 8 and 10 years old. Are both your boys able to swim? They can both swim. Tommy, the younger one, can swim adequately enough. He is allowed to go in the deep end, for example. How about the older boy? He is a very good swimmer and quite an accomplished diver, too. He has taken swimming lessons for several years and swims on his high school team in the summer. Do you have a swimming pool? At my home, sir? No. We belong to a private pool, a swim club. There are tennis courts, picnic tables, and other recreational facilities, you know. Do you and your sons do a lot of swimming then? Not me so much. The boys swim every day, but I actually only get there on weekends. Had you done much swimming on your vacation in Georgia the 2 weeks prior to the accident in question? Oh yes, almost every day. We camped out over one weekend, did some fishing and boating on the lake where the lodge was located. Excuse me, did you go swimming at all? Yes, swimming was permitted in the lake. There was a beach where they had obviously hauled sand in to make a nice sandy beach. I see, on the day of the accident, if we can return to that point in time, you were swimming with your sons. Was your wife with you? No, she had decided to stay in the room and take a short nap. We were going to go out to a dinner at a restaurant someplace and get some dinner after the boys had a swim. Mr. Johnson, please try to answer my questions as concisely as possible. If an explanation is required, make it as brief as possible. If I need more details, I will ask you, okay? Yes, sir, I have. Have I answered your last question now? You have answered it fully, sir. I want to ask you now about the incident itself. Tell me in your own words exactly what happened. We were in the pool swimming. There were very few people there other than the 3 of us. It was still pretty early, of course. Were you and the boys together in the same end of the pool at the time? Well, the boys were up at the shallow end, and I had decided I needed the exercise, so I started to swim a couple of laps. Go on, sir. I swam the length of the pool and was nearing the diving board when I heard one of my boys cry out. It was the younger boy, and I was afraid something had happened, so I quickly turned around to see if he was all right. What could you see at that point? I could see they were just fooling around, splashing water. Then I started to swim back strong toward the end of the pool. You mean you started back to the end where the boys were playing? That's right. And when I hit the end of the pool, I did a roll-over turn, and that is when I hit my foot on the pipe. Did you see it start to bleed? Not right away. I knew I had hit something, so I turned toward the ladder and started up, but my foot gave way under me. I reached down to see what was wrong, and I could feel the bone and see the blood. Were you able to get out of the pool unassisted? Yes, I hobbled up the ladder and wrapped a towel around my foot, but right away I realized how serious it was, and I knew I needed to get to the hospital. Did you report it to the motel management at that time?
A little fast for me. Just slightly fast.
It was 195.
It was how fast?
195. What do you got?
Actually, I have the same 96.